Yes, the homeless situation sure is getting interesting. Now, these are the shots here of the streets of Philadelphia. This is off the Kim Gary YouTube channel. But also, when I drive around here in San Diego, I'm seeing just more people just acting really, really weird. And I'm not sure what type of drugs they're on, but some of them are bending over. Some of them look like they're falling asleep while they're standing up. I'm not sure what she's doing here with the mask. But things are getting very, very strange with the homeless situation. And we're going to go over some news here and some articles. And we're going to show you some information here that makes it pretty clear the homeless situation is getting much, much worse. Two large North Seattle homeless encampments have been removed. So we're seeing more of these sweeps where they're going in and they're just tearing down all the homeless encampments. They're taking away the tents. They're taking away all the shelters that these people have built. And one of the biggest complaints you get from people is one, businesses, they don't want all the homeless people around their business. They say it scares people away. Well, it's not just the homeless people. Now we've got all these robberies happening, this big uptick in crime and robberies, and that's making people want to shop online even more instead of going to the stores. People are scared. But also they got the homeless situation around a lot of these stores and businesses. Also, homeless people going more into residential neighborhoods, and homeowners are complaining that it's bringing their property values down. People that are trying to sell their home, they're not going to get as big of an offer if you have a bunch of tents like right across the street from your home within eyesight of the front yard. And stories like this are becoming a lot more common. No clear plan to deal with homeless camps on North Portland Beach. Take a look along the sides of the river here, how bad it's gotten. This was a once nice area where people went fishing. Now you go down there and you don't know what you're going to find. You don't know what these people are on, what they're going to do. And, when I see these people, I mean, I grew up in an area where there was a lot of people that, did some substance abuse. And I saw people in a lot of different, under a lot of different types of influence, if you know what I mean. And what I'm seeing a lot of these people do in these videos is just things that I've never really seen any person do. So I'm not sure if there's some sort of other new drug out there, some epidemic, but isn't it interesting that how the war on drug has failed, the war on drugs, um, more drug abuse now than ever, more people overdosing, passing away. The same thing with the war on poverty. Was it 50 years ago, the war on poverty? And what do we see now? More poverty than ever um, in the globe, and in the United States, it's getting worse also. More people standing in food lines, more people living paycheck to paycheck, more people now in debt for life. And even the Heritage Foundation pointed this out several years ago, the war on poverty, 50 years of failure. Well, it's gotten even worse since I wrote this article. And it wouldn't surprise me if next it's going to be a war on homelessness, and you're going to see homelessness triple because somebody declared a war on it. And it's everywhere you look. It's in every state now. It used to be thought that homelessness was just in bigger cities, but we're seeing it now in smaller cities. There's one out of Madison here, that's up in Wisconsin, breaking up another homeless encampment. Some of these parks have had 2 and 3 clear outs just in 1 year. If you look here in LA, that's been happening. Sacramento cleared out 160 vehicles that were used by homeless people that liked to park in the business park parking lot. They swept out and told these people they had to go. People had no place to park their camper or whatever vehicle they're sleeping in. Sometimes it was a truck with a bed. Sometimes it was just a car, but people need a place to park. In a country with $30 trillion in debt and over $180 trillion in unfunded liabilities, we can't even afford a place to have people park without getting cleared up and getting kicked out of the parking lot. And, people ask me why I talk about homelessness because, well, the reason is because I think any of us could be in the same situation with just a little bad luck, right? It only takes one medical bill. You don't have the right health insurance. You're talking tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes for just a few days in the hospital. And depending on what kind of procedures that you have done, if you're on life support, you could be talking hundreds of thousands of dollars in a matter of weeks. And you can go from having a lot of money in the bank to being completely wiped out because of a lot of different things, but medical bills is definitely one of the big ones. The cost of living, the cost of medical, anyone could find themselves in this situation with a one big event or a string of bad luck events. And that's why you have to be very careful. We've all seen the stories about athletes that were millionaires and they didn't do the right thing. They made the bad moves financially. They overspent and they didn't plan and they ended up broke. So yes, this can happen to anybody. That's why I like to talk about it. And the problem is getting worse, just as we predicted. As the cost of living goes up, as more and more people fall into desperation, more depression, more substance abuse. And you're going to see stories like this. Homeless shelters seeing increase in homelessness. That's Rochester, Minnesota. Homeless student population sees drastic increase. That's Fargo, North Dakota. Let's go down here. The Southeast is seeing an increase in its homeless population. Up in King County, Washington, they're skipping the homeless count for the second straight year. There's just too many people to count. They said we're not even going to try to count them anymore. We've got more and more stories like this where hotels now are being turned into homeless shelters. And this was a Super 8 motel. And that's up in, looks like Salem, Oregon. And they actually did a vote on it here in Los Angeles. And the voters want homeless people to have rights, to have a place to just set up camp and live. They get kicked out wherever they go. News here out of Portland. The Portland city staff seek to increase homeless camp cleanups and sweeps. So they have to do it more often because as soon as they clean it up, a few weeks later, you have more people moving right back in. So this is bad, folks. It's no coincidence that the cost of living is going up and you see more homelessness. And it's definitely interesting to keep an eye on, but it's also scary because I don't want to see any people that I care about or even people from this channel. I don't want to hear about anyone going homeless or becoming homeless. But this can happen to anyone. I could be broadcasting to you from a vehicle or maybe from a tent somewhere because it could happen to me. And I believe this could happen to anybody. So I wanted to bring these stories to you and just let you know the situation and what's really happening. Thanks everybody for being here again. Appreciate you being on this channel. Please make sure you're subscribed, that you like these videos, that you share these videos, and hit that notification bell so you do not miss any updates. Talk to you very, very soon. Bye for now. Peace.